start of another day, and it's the final day of spring. Hello again, I am Jim Bob, and welcome back to American Midwest. So to bring you back up to speed, last night I decided to go ahead and sell another 50 pigs. So we're down to 200 pigs now, and I did notice something about the market price changing. Obviously, we sold all of our pigs in one single session, and the price stayed constant throughout that session. So we ended up selling, an awful lot of pigs, and we were getting the same price for all of them. Now, I saved and closed the game at the end of recording last time out, and the money that we made was, very, very nice indeed. And I thought about it, and I thought, you know what, I want to sell another 50. I was toying with the idea, towards the end of the episode, and I decided to go ahead and actually do it. And the price that I got for those was less than when we were doing it, because I reloaded back into the file, and because we'd sold a load of pigs, the market price had changed to reflect that after we saved the file and closed it down. When we reloaded in, it had a new altered price to reflect the large volume of pigs that we'd sold. So whereas the purchase price of pigs was somewhere around about 4,500, I think it was, when we started selling. When I sold those extra 50 pigs before starting this recording, they were going for 3,900. So a price drop of around $500 to $600 on the pig price. Not too bad. If you're buying pigs, fantastic. If you're selling pigs, obviously that's going to have a knock-on effect on the sale price as well, but not anywhere near to the same degree. So when we were selling our pigs at 21 pigs per trailer, we got around about $52,000 or so for each of those trailers. Now, when I did the other sales earlier on, we got 46,000 per trailer, so we were losing between $5,000 and $6,000 per trailer across the new price for 21 pigs. So not a huge difference, a noticeable difference, but not a massive difference. I was happy enough to do that. So we're down to 200 pigs, and we got an extra, well, having sold 50, we got an extra 100 plus thousand, which has helped us out tremendously financially. We're sitting currently at around about just under 1.1 million in debt now, as opposed to 1.5 million in debt. We've really raised a lot of money. We are going to spend a little bit of it today, but only a little bit. Our orchard has run out of material, so the trees have used up all the water and the manure, and we have a lot of fertilizing that we need to get done. So this is why I'm hiring a worker to start weeding our fields. Some of our fields are ready to be weeded. A lot of them aren't yet. Well, I say a lot of them. 4 of them aren't. If I pull up the menu and we can have a look. This is the current state of fertilizer. Now, these 2 fields, we planted these yesterday. These aren't even going to be ready to fertilize for quite some time, a good few days yet. But as you can see, they're already at stage 2. They only need 1 stage of fertilizer, so we've got plenty of time to deal with those ones. These ones, however, are a little bit more pressing. They need to have 2 stages of fertilizer added, and we can only weed on the first 2 stages of growth. Beyond that, when they get into the final growth stage and then when they become harvestable, we can't use a weeder. Now, we're not using artificial fertilizers, we're not using sprays or pellets, we're only using slurry, manure, weeding and cover crops. And normally we would plant a cover crop, but obviously because we started in spring, when we transitioned over to seasons, we didn't have time to plant a cover crop. So we need to make sure that we weed these fields twice. That's a lot of weeding. It's going to put a lot of hours on our Optum. Now, in terms of growth, you can see here that field 12, where we are right now, this is our corn field, which we're going to chaff later in the year. This is at the first physical growth stage, as is our canola here on field 10. And then over here we've got wheat and barley on these 3 fields, and they're all in their first physical growth stage as well. Obviously these 2 fields over here with our soybean, they're still in planting stage, so it's probably going to be another day or 2 before we see anything growing on these fields. So that helps, but we've got 5 different crop fields that we need to get weeded twice before we can harvest them, so we've got to try and get all of those done today, and that's why I've got the weeder running nice and early today. Now I'm also having I'm kind of fed up of having to constantly go up and grab the Puma every time I want to work in the orchard, so we need a little vehicle at the orchard. Now I did toy with the idea of getting a Case 1455. It would have been a great little vehicle to have there, but a very expensive purchase to do nothing but shovel a little bit of manure and drop a little bit of water every couple of days. A very expensive purchase indeed. So we're going to use a relatively new mod. Something that I haven't featured on the channel before. It's been out for a few weeks now, and it's the ITSY project. It recently got updated to have a more powerful, bigger version, and that is going to be absolutely perfect to work in our orchard, as long as it can actually rear hitch attach a water trailer, and I think it can, but I'm not 100% certain. I really hope it does. But in terms of shoveling the manure, it's going to be perfect, and we need to drive our pickup truck over there to get into it every time anyway, so if worst comes to worst, we can use our pickup truck to spray the water, and then we can use the manure with the ITSY. So let's go and buy one of those. These are a much cheaper option, so they're in skid steers, and as I say, it was updated to add the big boy version. So there are 2 ITSYs now. There's this one here, the Klitsy, which is the small one. This is the standard one, and this has a lifting power of only 500 kilos, and then the Flitsy has been added, which now has a lifting power of 1500 kilos, so enough to do a tree at a time. It's going to take us a little while to do stuff with this, but it's cheaper and better than buying a tractor plus a front loader for 110,000 just to do a little bit of manure work and water work. And this is the manure fork. It only holds 550. It's not particularly big. Never mind. We're still going to use this. I'm determined to use this. So we're going to only hold 550 on this. I think we might be able to get away with the Klitsy. Let's see. So keyboard or pedal. Interesting. Let's go with pedal. Wheel setup, tractor tread, Greenland tread. Yeah, let's go with Greenland tread because we're going to be on grass. Main colour. Well, we want to have. Ooh, I see. We want black trim. And the design colour, the main body, is going to be case red. That's about as close as we can get to case red. Rim colour for case is this sort of standard grey. And design, hydraulic back. I'm not sure what the hydraulic back is. Let's take it anyway and see if we can figure out exactly what the hydraulic back is. Yeah, let's buy one of those. Oh, we don't have the money. I forgot to take the money out. We need about 25 grand. So let's take out an extra bit just to be on the safe side. There we go. So let's go back in. Let's reset that back up. It says keyboard and pedal. I'm guessing that's for a wheel setup or for a keyboard player on PC. I'm guessing it doesn't really matter on the console if we're using a dual shock, but we can always reconfigure it with a toolbox if we need to. Greenland tread, rim colour is that one. Design, we want the hydraulic back. Well, that's the red. That's going to be black for the trim. Okay, let's buy. Fantastic. And we need the manure fork. Let's change the colour of that. Do I want red? Yeah, why not? Design, float or static? I wonder what the difference is. Let's go with float. And there we go. Here is our little Itsy. Oh, it hasn't changed the seat colour. So here is our Flitzy. Or is it the Clitzy? This is the Clitzy, isn't it? So let's open up the help menu. See if I can figure out what that hydraulic back was for. This thing's tiny. Ah! Is it the steering, perhaps? Oh wow, this thing... Ah, right, that might be the settings that we need to change. So we can raise and lower. We can tilt. Oh, we can extend the arm as well. That's good. That's important. Okay. What's it like inside? It's kind of funky, actually. I like the fact that it's got really tight steering. This is going to be perfect for working in the orchard. It looks really strange seeing the bottom half. It's just like it's just seeing it like that. It looks really kind of weird, but yeah, I kind of like this. Well, those are quite funky, aren't they? Those little hazard lights. Yeah, we need to change the accelerator type because that is obviously wrong. Let's. I feel like I'm driving a mobility scooter. Rascal racing. Let's drive right on the edge of the road here to let the traffic get past us. Yeah, this is going to live in the orchard, and this is going to be what we're going to use to top up the trees. We can't, by the look of it, use it to actually top up the water, so we'll have to do that with the truck. But as I say, we're going to need the truck to drive up there anyway, so it just means it's going to take us a while to do the trees each time. But you know, you've seen me do the trees a couple of times now. I'm not going to make you sit and watch me use this thing on every single tree because we'll spend pretty much the entire episode doing that. So I'm going to trundle this slowly over to the farm, and then I'll do some editing to try and get the accelerator type working properly. I've obviously selected pedal. I'm going to try keyboard, and hopefully that'll work a little bit better. Then I'm going to go and grab the pickup truck and the low loader trailer that we have up at the animal farm. I'm going to use that trailer and bring it down and collect this, and then take that over on the back of the trailer to the orchard, because at 6 miles an hour it's going to take me forever to get there otherwise. So I will see you in just a moment. Alright, so I've just about made it back here. It takes a while. The colour is a little bit wrong. I want to see if I can maybe brighten it up with a different shade. Let's see. Let's try this. This is normally a bit of an orangey red, but on this it might work. Yeah, that looks a little bit better, a little bit brighter. The fork is about the right kind of colour. Right, we need to change the throttle type as well, don't we? Hopefully this will work. Yeah, there we go. That's better. That's more like it. So now I know the difference. One is basically sort of analog control, and the other one is digital, except they seem to be labelled the wrong way round. We're on keyboard, which you would expect to be a digital, you know, stop start, and we've got the kind of gradual ease off of power that you would expect with, you know, a pedal or a trigger. So it does seem a little bit strange that they're labelled that way around, but it is what it is. Right, let's go get the pickup truck and get the trailer, and come back, pick this up, and then take that over and do our orchard. So I started driving away and then realised that this isn't, it's because of the colour scheme, this isn't the herbs low loader that we had before. I forgot we got rid of that and replaced it with this dually trailer. And it's just because there are no creels on it that I didn't immediately recognise it. So we can't use that as a low load transport. This is getting silly. We're going to have to lease a low loader. What have we got in terms of options? There it is. So yeah, we're just going to lease this for £1,000. So I need to basically now drive back to the store, pick that up, then drive back to the farm. Yeah, you see where I'm going with this. Right. The whole purpose of me doing this was to save me having to keep driving back and forth from one place to the other, and that's exactly what I'm doing over and over again right now. So yeah, the irony of this is not lost on me, but I will see you back on the farm with the new trailer in just a second. So here we are arriving at the orchard and the new home of our Flitzy. No, Clitzy. There we go. Oh, didn't finish unloading. There we go. Weird little bug that the animation stops, but the second you get back in the vehicle, it's already complete. Now I just need to move this trailer out of the way so I can actually get access to the manure. Now hopefully this isn't underpowered and I don't have to go and replace it with the other one. But I am really impressed with this thing so far, just in terms of some of its little features and its appeal. One of the things I've said in the past, I forget which series it was that I said it on, but yeah, we can easily cope with this. Look, it just means we're going to have to take 2 trips per tree. I wonder if maybe we could fit a larger fork in the future. I might have to play about, see if I can fit a larger fork on this thing at some point. But one of the things I did say was I wish we had a visual indicator inside the cab of the angle of the forks so you can see when they're flat, and we do in this. You can see that the red line there is indicating the angle of our forks, which is really kind of cool. The green line kind of indicates a halfway height kind of thing. And once you learn the bar system, the measuring system, you'll actually be able to see exactly what height you're at. It's a really nice little interior in here. And I'll tell you one thing I do like as well, it's got incredible lighting. I mean, look at the lights all around that roof. You get full 360 degree sort of lighting with this thing. So you can use this pretty much anywhere and be able to see exactly what you're up to. We've done that tree, haven't we? It is really, really severe on the turns. It's going to take a little while to get used to this thing, but I think once I am used to it, yes, it's going to take a while to actually do stuff in it, because it's only got this small capacity, but I like it so far. I think this is going to be a fun little thing to use, and it'll make this job last a little bit longer as well. So on days when we don't have a huge amount to do, you know, it'll actually help pass the time on this quite quickly. It's just a shame we can't carry as much manure as I would like. I'd like to be able to carry 1,000 litres of manure, so that I can do a tree in one go rather than 2 trips per tree. But like I said, maybe a larger fork will be compatible. I'll have a play about with things. So I'm going to carry on sort of doing these trees. Actually, before I do anything else, one thing I do need to do, our worker has finished over here, so let's get him relocated onto our canola field, which is just down the road, obeying the 25-mile-an-hour speed limit here, which is slow, but it is the speed limit, so we will stick to it. And our turning point is just here, so it's not far to go. There we go. Let's get this field weeded as well, and then we can head over to our other fields. If we get time today as well, what I want to do is start mixing up some more TMR, because obviously we've used a fair bit and we're going to start burning through it pretty quickly. So I want to mix some more up, see how much we've got and we'll end up with in total, and then from there we can figure out how much silage we need to make this year to maintain our herd of cattle. So we're back, and this time we have the Flitzy, not the Clitzy. We have the bigger brother. Needed something with a little bit more oomph, because the other one just didn't have the strength to actually lift anything larger than 500. So we had to go for this one, but this is a lot faster. This one can actually go up to 30 kilometers an hour. So it says 19 in the cruise control. I've had it up to 17 on the road. And I'm using the 1600 litre JCB manure fork, so this should work quite nicely now. That's 1700 litres. You can see we're just leaning forward just a touch, but this is much better. See a little skip there from slightly too heavy at the front. But this is a better option for us. It's going to allow us to actually get these trees done a lot quicker. We can do at least do a full tree per trip. I didn't want to have to make 2 trips just for every single individual tree. I don't mind doing the trees one at a time, but when I'm having to do them, you know, 2 trips per tree, when you've got 28 trees, that's going to take a long time to do anything at all. So we went for the larger, slightly more expensive version, so that we can just lift a little bit more. It just made a bit more sense. It is a bit bigger as well, as you can see. The tyres are a bit wider, and it's faster, which is also a nice big help. So not only am I able to carry more manure, but I'm able to carry it at a faster speed as well. So this will still take a fair while to do a full rack of 28 trees, but it won't take as long. And I'm much happier with this particular one than the other one. But I've just noticed, look, interestingly enough, his hand configuration. That's really nice to see that he's got one hand on the wheel and one hand on the control stick for the joystick, for the arm, rather than both hands at 10 and 2 on the wheel. That's a really nice little touch. That's the first time I've seen that. I like that. Well, here comes the rain. Luckily, we're not doing anything today that is going to affect. It's just going to make it look a little bit grey and miserable. It won't affect our fertilising in any shape whatsoever. nor will it affect the work that we're doing here in the orchard. But it's definitely going to be very wet by the time I'm finished with these trees. Making some decent progress, but we're not quite there yet. Okay, so we are done. Let's put our new toy away. There we go. Tell you what, the lighting is fantastic. It gets really dark under those trees when the weather's inclement like this. Yeah, there's no tow hitch on the back there. I didn't think there was. Yeah, when the weather's inclement and dark like this, it gets really dark under the trees inside the orchard. So that 360 lighting is really bright, as well as able to see all light in all directions. Very, very handy. Very, very effective. Now we'll have to whiz through the trees with our trailer. This is going to cost us a few thousand. Get nicely topped up, and off we go. The orchard is done, so time to go and return the trailer and continue with the fertilisation of our crops. Okay, that's that field done. It's taken a while to get done, but it is done now. So let's see, where are we? Oh, we've got another field next door, haven't we? Let's go tag that one next. This one will take a lot less time. Because it's a lot narrower. Right, so while our work is doing that, we are going to jump over to the animal farm, and this is what we want to use, our Silo King Prestige. We're going to mix up some more TMR, hopefully. So let's take a look at our ingredients in the silo. We have how much hay do we have? 323,000 litres of hay and 65,000 litres of silage. So it's going to be very much a hay-heavy mix. So let me open up the help window for this. I can't remember what my actual overall capacity is. I think it's 16,000 with this. Oh no, this is 32,000, isn't it? So that means we want to be... I think maybe that will be enough. Might be a little bit too much. Let's try adding silage into the mix. Oh, there we go. That's fine. So that's TMR. Now we can dump that just here. Tip side right. There we go. A nice self-propelled 32,000 litre mixer here. The only thing that is a bit frustrating is that we can't actually use this to tip directly, or tip TMR into this directly. It doesn't seem to like it for some reason, or it didn't last time I tried anyway. I don't really want to risk doing it now in case it breaks it. But we'll add in about 24,000 litres of, or 25,000 litres of hay again. There we go, that's pretty close. And then silage on the rest. That mix should be just about spot on. Oh, look at that. Just a fraction too much. Oh, that's so frustrating. Alright, let's do what we have to do. We have to unload a little bit here. That might not be enough. Nope, not enough. Alright. Need to tip a little bit more. That should be enough. So 25,000 litres is too much. 24,000 seems to be about the magic number. Yes, there we go. 24,000 litres will do. Now, I don't think I can pick up that hay with this, but I'll have a try. If not, I can always just shovel it back up. Shouldn't take too long to do that, but yeah, this is a very quick and easy way of us making up a whole batch of TMR. We've just very simply made 64,000 litres in the space of a few seconds. And I want to use up all my hay because I want to keep some for when we do get some sheep a little bit later in the year. That's 24,000 litres. And the ratio is slightly off, so we actually need a fraction more. Look at that, we are 0.17% over our allocated mix. So we need to be coming in under 24,000 for some reason. That wasn't enough. I'm 0.05 short. Oh, come on. Alright, there we go. We've actually got a proper mix now. Let's just top that up. There we go. I'm going to go tip side left again, so I can simply drive around like this. Very nice. Right, can I actually pick that straw up using this? I wonder. I somehow doubt it, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. Oh, I can look! Fantastic! I wasn't sure I'd actually be able to pick this up. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, that makes this even better. The fact that if I do make a mistake with my ratio, I can just evacuate some of that hay and then pick it straight back up again afterwards when I'm done. Oh, that's awesome. Love that. So I need to come in under 24,000. Let's go with 23.5 at the most. That should be enough. Yes, there we go. That's good. Had a little 2% window there, so we could possibly have gone a touch more, but I'd rather just make sure we're safe within our mix ratio. Getting a really nice little stockpile of TMR here. We'll be able to keep these cows fed for a very long time. How much hay have we got left? 229,000. Oh, we've still got a ton of that stuff. I mean, we'll need some obviously for the sheep, but by the time we're ready for the sheep, we could have cut more. The only downside to our grass situation on this map is that it's all native. None of it is workable at the moment. So in autumn, once we've made our second cut, we will be ploughing those fields, or at least a couple of them will be ploughing and turning into workable grass fields. So that we can then fertilise and increase the yield on them. But no need to do that just yet. Like I say, we can get 2 cuts this year on all of our grass fields, including the grass down below the orchard. We haven't actually done any cutting on that at all so far in the history of this farm, so we'll definitely be taking advantage of that area this year. There we go. Let's do one more mix. I think one more should probably be enough for now. And that'll leave us with 180,000 litres of hay. We are starting to run a little bit low on silage though, so we are going to have to make some more silage this year as well. That's just 22,000 litres. We may as well use all of the silage up. We don't need it for anything else, so let's continue mixing until we run out of silage. That's going to be the easiest thing to do, I think. Because it's only going to be another couple of loads. This is, of course, the modded version of this rather than the in-game version, which actually got patched down to only a 13,000 litre capacity with the 1.5.1 patch. I don't know why they reduced it from 16 down to 13,000 litres, but it makes this one even more impressive. Given that it's still at 32,000 litres, it makes it much more worthwhile buying. I mean, it was already great value as it was. Not that much more expensive. I think it's only like 30,000 more to buy. Over the in-game version, but with more than double its capacity now. You know, it's worth shelling out that extra few thousand. This thing is a really good quality mod. I absolutely love it. I'm trying to remember. I think it was Arm Team that released this. I honestly can't remember if it was. I think what they should do with mods next year, well, say next year, later this year, with Farming Sim 19, is if we go into the animals, for example, obviously here is the original Silo King here. I think if it's a mod, not only should it say mod, but it should say who made it in here as well, either on this sort of panel here with the information, you know, is in the top section where you see the image and the name of the brand. You should maybe see the the modder name up there, or see it in the description at the bottom. I really believe that. I think it would make a lot of sense to do that. Look at that, 0.03. I got right up to the edge of that there. Just a fraction more and we would have been over the ratio, but we judged that pretty much perfectly. So there we go. That's a whole ton of, not a literal ton, but we've made an absolute load of silage, massive amount of, a total mixed ration. Our cows will not be going hungry for a very, very long time, which is fantastic. Don't have to worry about that now, just have to try and feed them. I don't think I can use this, but as I say, we have got the bandit there, so we can always load into that, which is what we have been doing. Will it let me load TMR into here? No, it doesn't let me load in the TMR. Only lets me load in the raw materials. That's fair enough. We don't need... Oh, this thing's getting a little bit dirty. Let's give it a quick wash. So we've got the bandit. We can just use that as we have been doing to tip the TMR into the food trough. It's not like it's a far journey to go. And it's actually got a higher capacity as well, 40,000 litres in the trailer compared to 32,000 litres in this. It's just this is self-propelled, so we don't need we don't need to bring a tractor over. And there we go. So let's see how our weeding is getting on. And we are almost done on this field. Fantastic. So I think we've just got one last field to go now. Let's check the menu. Oh, we've missed a patch on field 10. The AI has stopped and not done a full pass. Alright, we'll have to go back and do that. But apart from that, yeah, it's just field 1 that's left over. So we'll tag field 1. We'll get that done. And then I will probably end up tagging this off camera. Because I think we're going to run out of time on field 1. Let's get folded up. Starting to get a little bit late in the day. It is now 5:15. So time is ticking on. We had an early start this morning, obviously because I wanted to make sure that we could get all of this weeding done today. We're going to have to do this again in a few days' time in summer, but while we're doing that, we can be using our Big M, doing some mowing. I can't wait to use the Big M, especially now that we now have the wide cut mode available. Really looking forward to sort of breaking that out and giving that a whirl. It's going to make a lot of sense for us to try and hook a tedder up to the back for when we do hay. I think we have one at the animal farm. I'll nip back there a sec. I know we've still got the what am I thinking of? The merger. We still have the merger because we are still going to be using the Kuhn rear mower and the Lely front mower combination on a couple of fields, but for other fields we'll be using obviously the Big M, and if we need to make hay, it would make sense. If we jump out here, actually, walk around the corner, it would make sense for us to be able to hook the tedder right up to the back of the Big M. Now on Big Bud Farm, you'll have seen me use the trailed lifter and the, what is it, the hay bob to do my tedding. But on this farm, I think we've got a proper windrower and tedder. Yes, look, we've got a Krona. We've got a Krona tedder. So if we can get that hooked up, we might need. It's got a PTO attachment and a 3-point attacher here. So we might need to use a trailed lifter to then hook onto this. But basically, we can wide cut and we can ted this with this and do it all in one go that way. I'm kind of really keen to try that combination out. You know, and then part of me kind of wants to get rid of the merger and get the Krona windrower in and have a complete Krona grasswork set, but we're not going to. We'll stick with the merger because this is the only farm that has the merger right now. We don't have one on Big Bud Farm. We got rid of that, and we don't have one of these on either Deutz Farm or on Seasons in the Valley either. So this is the only point really where we can actually use this. So I'm not really all that keen to get rid of it because it is so much fun to use. I do really enjoy using the merger. Right, just this one field left and then we are done for the night. So I'll let time progress a bit and I'll check in with you when we're about done. Okay, so we are done on the field. We're now heading over to the last missing piece on field 10. I'm going to tag that little thin line that the AI didn't do, and then all of our fertilizing for the day is done. We'll have to do all of this all over again, as I said, at some point in the next few days once the crops have grown, and we're also going to have to deal with those fields there, our soybean fields just there and just there, and we're going to have our other fields to deal with at some point in the future as well, the ones that we planted yesterday. So still a lot more weeding to go. We're up to 14.9 hours, I think that is, on the Optum, so starting to rack the hours up pretty quickly. Let's overtake this guy. There we go. Yeah, starting to rack up the hours pretty quickly, but hopefully when we come back, which you know, the next day is going to be the first day of summer, and when we come back I'm really hoping that our grass will be fully grown. I get this nagging feeling that we're going to have to wait another 2 or 3 days, but I really hope that the grass will be ready tomorrow. I can't wait to break out the Big M and start doing some mowing, so keeping my fingers crossed that we will be able to actually do that next time out. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I will see you again with another episode of American Midwest Seasons very soon.